who could have it, what they could have, what they could wear, what symbols they could have. So the point of this is, if I'm on the battlefield with 1,000 other fighters, I don't want to have to get up to here and go, who are you? Are you my friend? No, I don't think so. Okay? You don't want to have to get that close. So you use your heraldry to tell people not only who you are, but something about you. Okay? The azure band, the blue background, is saying heaven is important to me. This is the color of heaven. It's the color of salvation. It's saying my faith is important to me. Oh, actually, let's give this one to her. We want to be nice to her. Okay, so you're trying to tell people something that's important about you with your heraldry. The azure background is my faith. The argent bend actually says I'm a nice guy. It says I'm merciful, I am compassionate toward my fellow man. The dragon was a symbol that was used to say, I will fiercely guard treasures. The things that are important to me, I will guard with ferocity. And this is actually a whole long spiel, but it acknowledges my Masonic background. Okay? Again, azure stone. This is the heraldry for the U.S. team when we compete overseas. Okay? And we would say that through the clothing that we wear, our shield, it would be painted on the helmet, it would be out there to tell what's important to us. Okay? Now, the fiery darts. Arrows are nasty. Arrows like to find little spots like that. That's fun, isn't it? Okay? Now, if I'm fighting him, I'm right here, aren't I? I'm within range, he's within range, and there's an acknowledgement that we're here fighting each other. But we're fighting against the wiles of the devil, aren't we? So while he's sitting here focused on me, guess what would happen? An arrow would come, shoot. And he just had a really bad day. Okay? Now, how many archers shoot just one arrow? Dead ones. Right? Arrows love to come in groups. Historically, the English with their longbows could shoot one arrow at a high angle up into the air, reload, and fire at an almost flat angle, and both arrows would hit at approximately the same moment. They have a range of almost 1,000 yards. It's 1,000 yards. It was ridiculous. They were pulling 100 to 180 pound longbows. They trained 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. They were the absolute elite of archery. And they could really mess up your life. And the same thing happens today. Because when one little fiery dart comes in, if we don't cover ourselves and deal with it, there's another one behind it. And when we get weak on that, we start finding a lot of them. So what does our shield represent? Faith. You can block a lot of arrows with that shield, can't you? Bring it up here, and it starts deflecting a lot. It's not total coverage, but it's a lot of coverage, okay? But what happens if you start getting lazy and letting it down? You have another bad day, because those fiery darts will sneak in there. Okay? Remember, we're talking about putting on the whole armor of God. You're in a lot of trouble, aren't you? Okay. And your foundation of peace is a little exposed too, I'm noticing. Okay? All right, what's our next verse?
And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
All right. The helmet of salvation. Number 1. Okay, now remember, guys, your job up here is to stay. Whatever we're doing, you have to stay. It's getting harder, isn't it?
Ew.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose Fluffy salvation. Okay.
It's all dry too.
Yeah, it is. It's all current.
Oh yeah, it's several weeks old. Actually, there's video of it on Facebook. It's worth watching.
It's only on the Northwest page, so.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I ought to put it open. Okay.
Because that was well worth watching.
Yeah, while we're at it here, we'll be. There you go. Here, have a gauntlet. You want a gauntlet? Just so you know, it's been teenage boys collection. Let's see, we still need another gauntlet? Oh yeah. Here we go. Here, have another gauntlet. All right.
Take that home and take care of it.
Okay. So guys, I want to know something. Right now, how broad is the path of salvation? Is it a wide open highway? No. It's a narrow little path, isn't it? How often do we stray from that path? Okay, so let's think about it. You can have that one. You can have that one. Go. Okay. So we have a path of salvation, don't we? And it's a narrow little path, isn't it? Okay? It's not broad, is it? What's the best direction you guys can see?
Forward.
Forward. It's not over there, is it? In fact, how many fingers am I holding up?
I have no idea.
Me neither. All right. Salvation is a narrow path. And you don't get to stray from it. And why would you stray from it? What's out there to tempt us? The wiles of the devil, isn't it? Okay? And what did we say about the wiles? Are they up front and obvious? What was that?
I don't like this game.
Now, this is where it gets ahead. Alright? They carry the shield of faith. They carry the sword of spirit, right? But what happens when you let your faith down? Keep your faith up. Okay? Remember what we said? The devil doesn't just walk up and say hi. He's up there all the time. How are you? Now, are we suddenly starting to see why it's important to put on the whole armor of God? See, let's even be more nice. We are going to give this young lady lots and lots of salvation. Could we do that?
Hey, year after.
Hell yeah.
We recommend not doing that quite yet.
Okay. Andrew, chest bump.
You fall down, you really get up.
Is that enough salvation? you all to come to you in salvation? Here. How's that? Okay. We've just given her a lot of salvation, haven't we? Is it enough? These guys are learning. Okay? Is salvation enough? Is faith enough? Okay? You've got the sword of the Spirit. Why is it the sword of the Spirit? Tonight, this is your spirit. Before a battle, you would turn it over and you would use it as your true spirit. After a battle, you would kneel down and you would thank it. Something that's important about it, spirit cuts both ways. It's part of our truth. A medieval weapon that people in the common levels really liked is called a falchion. Kind of looks like a sword, but it's only got one edge. Keep your faith up. Okay? This is a chopper. It's clumsy. It's ugly. It's brutal. But on top of being brutal, it only cuts one way. Why does the Spirit cut two ways? It's double-sided.
It's also strong.
While we may use it against others, we occasionally need to turn it on ourselves. If you are blindly going forward and telling people about your faith, about your truth, about those things which are important to you, and you never test them yourself, you're doing it wrong. Okay? I don't care what anybody believes, as long as they have found the path and made sure it's right for them. That's why a sword cuts both ways. If you are blindly following what's being handed to you, you're doing it wrong. It is about you going out and having that relationship that we talked about earlier, right? We talked about it with our parents. We talked about parents putting positive stuff into their relationship with their kids. We talked about kids putting positive stuff back into the relationship with their parents. What's different on that than the relationship with God? Nothing. But if you're not testing yourself and if you're not testing your relationship, you're standing out here like this young lady, aren't you? Where you got some faith, you got a little spirit, and a lot of salvation, but nothing else to back it up. If you're out here with this guy, and you forgot the foundation of peace, then you're out there pushing and fighting and going forward until your foundation is cut out from under you. But if you put on the whole armor of God and learn to keep your faith up, and keep your spirit up there too, now you're covered. Now, how is that standing going? You're still standing, but it's hard, isn't it? You want to take a few parts off?
Well,
No? No?
They should fight.
Okay. You want to take a few more parts off?
not if I'm going to get hit. No.
It is hard to stand. It is hard to wear this whole armor of God. It's not meant to be easy. That's why salvation is a straight path forward. It was never meant to be easy. If it's easy, you're doing it wrong. But what's the rewards?
You don't die.
You don't die. Well, that's a pretty good reward. And when you do eventually pass, then you fought in the armor of God, right? And
been over an hour.
the next two verses are important, so let's hear them.
It's been over an hour.
Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints, and for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to acknowledge the mystery of the gospel.
Okay. Now guys, in this armor, especially with me standing here like this, you feel fairly confident that you could boldly speak out and speak your mind? How about you two? Okay? Don't want to go call my mom names or anything? Okay? It is important, guys. Because when you put on that whole armor of God, when you do that spiritually every day, you have the power to speak boldly. Because you've tried your faith. You have truth. You have righteousness. You have those things that are important. Okay? But, think about it. If all he had was the righteousness and none of the truth padding it, that wouldn't feel too good, would it? You would start getting rubbed the wrong way. It's important. I have met some very, very righteous people that didn't have an ounce of truth. Sort of like this, huh? And there's probably a few parts you're really feeling that armor, huh? Okay? If you got hit in this, it would bruise, wouldn't it? Okay? So, in his spiritual armor that we have on him, not in real life, but what's on him, he needs a little more truth back there, doesn't he? How do you find that truth? By putting in the time on that relationship with God, right? By putting that positive stuff out there. By spending positive time with your parents and your siblings and the people around you that care about you. That's where that truth comes from. She's actually got pretty good truth on. Maybe a little light on the righteousness, huh? Okay? You can't have parts in pieces. You have to put on the whole armor. Okay? So, I do want to let you guys know that while we like these guys quite a bit, why don't you take about 6 steps over there and stand, because we like that standing. Just so that you guys have an idea that armor and the armor of God do actually work. That wasn't any harder than I was hitting these guys with, is it? That's a little bigger than most people's heads. I've had some people their heads swelled up bigger than that, but hey, the armor works, doesn't it? It does its job, just like our spiritual armor works. And we're having watermelon today, by the way. So, it works, doesn't it, guys? You don't feel anything like that watermelon, do you? Okay. So, are there any questions? Did I leave anything out? Okay. I really enjoy giving this program, guys, and you guys have been a great audience. And you guys have been awesome. I appreciate it.
I have a question.
Yes?
When you fight these battles, you're acting, right?
No,
No.
not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Blood on his hand.
Yeah,
I can smell it.
We are actually competitively fighting, yes. When we went the first year to Poland, the United States 21-man team was the 6th fight to enter the list. 5 hospital transports were made before we walked onto the list. The 5th one was a paralyzed. I came home with my nose broken 3 places and skinned, broken rib, broken finger, and screwed up knee. Teddy's nose was broken 2 places, broken finger, and messed up knee. We had one of our competitors, Scott Frappier, was 1 hit shy of a fatality. He received double concussions within about half a second of each other. Blackened both of his eyes through the helmet, and 1 more hit probably would have killed him. So no, this is not acting, it's not fake. 2 weeks ago at the Renter in Soda Springs, I received 2 Class 3 concussions and have been benched. And I ended up with about a dozen stitches or 15. No, it was actually
I counted.
yeah, I counted 3. Yeah. So anyway, it's not fake. It's not acting. It's a very, very competitive sport. Most of my teammates are Teddy's size and bigger. So we, on the reenactment side of it, we are still fighting competitively, but not quite with the violence that we have on the national team.
Russia
We're
is
focusing
no.
more on the chivalry and pageantry of it. But yeah, the hits I was hitting these guys with are standard force hits. And if they hit me back in no armor, it would be fake. It's that simple. I would look like a watermelon. And the edges are rounded, but as you can see, they still do their job. And this is exactly what our ancestors would have used in a tournament. So I hope that's not deep.
How long did it take you to make, like you said, the one Andrew's wearing is your stuff. How long did it take you to make that?
Actual hours, I couldn't tell you. The gauntlets and arms are about 7 years old. The leg armor was all built this last year. The body armor was built for nationals in February. The helmet is 2 years old. I can, if I have all day to do it, and I do long days, I can build a helmet in a day. But that's a really big day. Then body armors have a lot more components, and so they take a couple days. Gauntlets are weeks. They're a lot of work in these things. I tie my riveted chainmails because I've never been bored enough to knit chainmail and rivet each and every link. We have a shield. Is a 5-day start to finish process for a shield.
What's it made of?
Wood. Wooden shield. That's historically correct, aside from the fact that we carried bolts instead of rivet. So.
What kind of metal is this? It's not the typical stuff you find here on the farm, is it?
This is actually off-the-shelf carbon steel. I'm a little bit selective out of which sheet I cut them out of, because there's a lot of variance in the carbon steel setting. But it's about 3.5 point carbon on this helmet. These two are actually 304 stainless, because I'm really tired of polishing. Both of those helmets are carbon steel. This is a 430 stainless, and these are 4130 plate. So they're really expensive. I can't even bring that material in short of a special order from Chicago. So I actually traded for those gauntlets, but they're ultralight, super high. Well, of course, those 4130 arms. Can't do this with regular carbon steel. You're not. Feel how light it is. That's 22 gauge. So, how's that standing going? You guys going out of it?
Head's getting a little sore.
Okay. We'll let you get on.
Yeah, ladies first.
Any other questions?
Teddy,
No. That would be for round one.
These are a lot lighter than I expected to be.
Yeah. Now, good sword.
Teddy,
All right.
can I stop filming?
A good single-hand sword should be between 2 and 3 pounds. That one.